Welcome back. As we said earlier, we are going to discuss together the forum of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Union for the Mediterranean, as it was hosted by Egypt. And our parliamentary speaker, or the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Councillor Hanafi Gibali, addressed the gathering. In his speech, he tackled a number of very crucial points. To know more details about the whole issue and to discuss all the events, steps which took place on the ground yesterday, and which was attended by a number of parliamentary speakers coming from all over the Mediterranean region, we are very much delighted and honored to have live here in the studio our prominent guest, Dr. Ayman Ghoneim, our economic and legal expert. Thank you very much for being with us, sir, and a very good morning.
Most welcome, madam, and good morning for you and for the rest of the audience.
Sir, before going into details, let's give our audience an idea about the forum itself and to what extent this gathering can be a platform for parliamentarians to meet and to discuss all the challenges facing the Mediterranean region.
Well, the Euro-Mediterranean Partnership started in Barcelona Convention of 1995, and it aimed at strengthening the cooperation and the economic integration between the European Union states and the Mediterranean states. Now it encompasses the 27 sovereign members of the European Union, as well as the European Union itself and 16 other Mediterranean states surrounding the Mediterranean basin. In the year 2008, in Paris summit, the Union for Mediterranean was established in order to strengthen and deepen the Euro-Med partnership. And today we have the parliamentary arm of the Union for Mediterranean. And actually it's an important platform because it fosters the dialogue between the parliamentarians amongst the Mediterranean region. Of course, the consensus and the agreement and the moral value of the decisions taken by this forum affects policymakers and laws and affects the policies amongst the Mediterranean countries and provides a moral support and provides an ethical ground for the policies and for the principles that the policies should be based upon, and especially, as was asserted yesterday by the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Councillor Hanafi Gibali, regarding the importance of building a worldwide consensus on the resolution of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict based on the two-state solution and based on the United Nations and Security Council's resolution.
We are going to go to this, yes. Dr. Ayman, but since you mentioned this history, would you please, sir, I'd like to focus on some of the points which were tackled in the speech of our parliamentary speaker when he said that the Barcelona process is a strategic necessity. The term itself is really indicating a lot. How to turn this strategic necessity via legal procedures into action, I mean to make it functioning on the ground.
Well, the Barcelona Declaration in 1995, it reflected the European perspective of the Middle East and North Africa. We know that traditionally Europeans used to look at the Middle East and North Africa as a so-called soft belly of Europe. We remember even in World War II when the Axis forces, they wanted to strangle the Allied forces, they invaded North Africa and they pushed as far as Egypt here in Al Alamein, and the Battle of Al Alamein was a turning point in the World War II path, because actually if the Axis forces were able to, or had been able to conquer Egypt, then they would have strangled the supply lines of the Allied forces. So as a matter of national security, the stability of Middle East and North Africa is of a strategic importance, as you said, and as Councillor Gibali said, for the European Union. For many aspects, first of all, the trade routes, the maritime trade routes, the crucial trade routes that control the oil supply, energy supply, and the other foreign trade between the East and West. They are affected by the stability of the Middle East, and they pass through the Middle East, whether Suez Canal or the other trade routes. Jebel al-Tar or the Red Sea. That's one thing. And for the other thing, the refugee problem, the illegal immigration and refugee problem, and the fact that as Egypt proactively acts in managing and preventing the illegal immigration, starting from the point of conflict resolution, as was asserted yesterday by Councillor Gebali.
Yeah, amen to that. And I don't know if this was a coincidence or no. The convention or the meeting of yesterday coincided with the day of solidarity with the Palestinian people. And Councillor Gebali linked the revival of the Barcelona process with the stability in the Middle East, and in particular with cementing the ceasefire in Gaza, and with finding settlement, a political, peaceful one for the Palestinian cause, with having or supporting the Palestinians to have their independent Palestinian state with Eastern Al-Quds as its capital. How do you see this link, sir?
Well, actually, as you rightly mentioned, there is an important link between the ceasefire agreement in Gaza that was agreed upon and signed in Sharm el-Sheikh Convention. And by the way, Sharm el-Sheikh summit, it showed the whole world that the important variable in the equation of the stability and peace in the Middle East is Egypt and the Egyptian role. So the whole world must understand that the Gaza peace, or the Gaza, I would say it, ceasefire agreement, not a peace agreement, but it's a ceasefire agreement. It's the first step in a long and tedious pathway to achieve the final settlement of the Palestinian problem on the basis of the international law, on the basis of the United Nations and Security Council resolutions, and on the basis of having two neighboring side-by-side states, an Israeli state and the Palestinian states on the borders of the 4th of June 1967, and that was the Egyptian posture, the Egyptian position since a very long time, since President Sadat started his peace initiative in 1977, starting the long and, as I said, tedious and sometimes
agonizing process.
Yes, sometimes painful process to achieve the peace in the Middle East.
But it was also sent from here a message from all the parliamentarians who participated in the event. They called the President Sisi the voice of wisdom.
Yes.
And this came after what you've kindly mentioned regarding the Egyptian efforts to stabilize the nation and even to start the first step. How do you see naming the President, our President, as the voice of wisdom, as a message to the international community, sir?
Well, the Egyptian diplomacy actually has gained a tremendous respect worldwide under the leadership of President El-Sisi. The new republic is now playing a leading role in all the causes of the South, including, of course, the Palestinian cause, but also other causes. And there is a form of synergy between the different roles played by the Egyptian diplomacy, meaning that one role strengthens the other. We've seen President El-Sisi voicing the voice of the South regarding the importance and the right of the South to have finance at, or to get finance at just and fair terms and conditions, and the right of the South to achieve sustainable development and to achieve economic growth and to build and upgrade its infrastructure. We've seen this in the President El-Sisi's participation and speeches, whether in the G20 or in the BRICS. We've seen also the role played by Egypt, as you said, especially in the latest war of Israel against Gaza. All these roles, they strengthen each other, and actually what happened was that now Egypt is coming back strongly as one of the main pillars of the countries of the South, like it was in the 1950s and 60s, when Egypt was a leading country in the independence and liberation movements of the Third World and of the southern countries. And at that time, Egypt under President Gamal Abdel Nasser was one of the leaders of the non-aligned movement, and it showed the world that there can be a third pillar or a third pole in the international politics, side by side with the two big poles, the United States and the Soviet Union.
Amen to that, sir. Very well said. But if you permit me, I'm going to be focusing also once again on the Palestinian cause, because also the event yesterday, or the speech of Councillor Gibali, focused on the resilience of the Palestinian people sticking to their land, and the Egyptian full rejection to the displacement of Palestinians, whether inside or outside their lands. How do you see this as another message, and how this can urge other parliaments all over the world to stick to this and to put this as a priority in supporting the Palestinian cause?
Well, the Egyptian position regarding the rejection of the displacement of Palestinians and their forced immigration to other countries, the Egyptian position has been respected all over the Arab and Islamic world. And as I told you, Egypt is now regaining its leadership position in the traditional circles, the three traditional circles that were described by President Gamal Abdel Nasser: the Arab circle, the Islamic and the African circle, as well as other circles like the South Mediterranean circle, the European circle, the American circle, the Eastern circle, which contains Russia, India, and the BRICS countries, and China. So the complete rejection and the strong Egyptian stance, and I use the word strong intentionally, gained the respect of the whole world. And we've seen that the leaders of the Western countries, they accepted the Egyptian position and they accepted the Egyptian point of view, which was respected by the peoples of the world and by the leaders also of the world. And it's now important through the parliamentary diplomacy that we focus on this and that we assert this, because traditionally Egypt, its diplomacy had two wings, the political diplomacy and the economic diplomacy. Now we are using skillfully and strongly the parliamentary diplomacy. So it's really important to assert this issue and this
and reaffirming the Egyptian stance regarding different cases and different files, and we have unwavering stances regarding these files. And also, sir, I mean, among those files is the water security, because also water security was mentioned, and was mentioned yesterday as a red line. How do you see this file, sir, and how do you see Egypt to put it as a first priority, or one of the main priorities in front of the Egyptian state?
Well, one of the important features of the leadership style of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi is tackling problems in a holistic way. So talking about the water security, Egypt tackles it from a holistic perspective. First of all, the right of Egypt, the undisputed right of Egypt in its share in the water of the Nile, according to the international law, and especially the international law of rivers. This one aspect. Another aspect is the economical use of water and the prevention of pollutions and the strengthening of the renewability of the water supplies and the best use of water economically, and also the right of all the social classes and the right of all the regions and sectors of the society to get clean water. All these aspects are integrated under one umbrella, under one subtitle, which is the water security. And also the water security is being tackled side by side with other priorities like food security, like preventing illegal immigration, managing of immigration in general. And that's why such holistic approach gained the trust and respect of...
From a panoramic view. Yes. Also, sir, you spoke about political diplomacy and economic diplomacy. What about scientific diplomacy? Because also it was proposed yesterday to have other Mediterranean institutions like a Mediterranean university and a center for scientific diplomacy. How you see such new initiatives, let me put it this way, because if it is implemented on the ground, what are going to be the targets or the goals behind establishing such centers?
Well, under President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi's leadership, we've seen Egypt is taking major steps in what I call building the human being, building the young generations, physically as well as scientifically, as well as equipping them with modern tools like AI tools, as well as economic empowerment. So all these aspects integrate together, and Egypt is now establishing more than 20 new universities, including technological universities, smart universities. The most notable or the most famous of which, of course, is King Salman Technological University and Al Galala University, Al Mansoura University. So with this new wave, with this I would call, with this euphoria of getting into the AI age and equipping the new generation in Egypt here with the AI tools, and integrating the AI tools in the education process and in the scientific research process, Egypt is now trying to cement its cooperation with its Mediterranean counterparts, with European Union states, as well as North African states. And such initiative, in addition to other efforts, are expected actually to put Egypt in the center of development, especially in the center of development of education and AI in the coming decade.
Yeah. Also, sir, Egypt framed the forum as a diplomatic milestone and a relaunch of integration. The word integration itself, sir, is really indicating a lot. I don't know if I should put my question this way, but do you think, sir, that the European countries now learned the lesson in the hard way, unfortunately, after particularly the Russian-Ukrainian conflict or struggle or war, which now entered its fourth or even fifth year, that they should have this fruitful cooperation with the South, because only then they can secure their energy, they can secure their economy, their trade, their even with debt swap, they can maintain more fruitful relations with the South.
Well, madam, actually your question poses many important issues. First of all, the Egyptian concept of economic integration, this is one thing. And second, the cooperation between Egypt and other countries in the fields of energy, whether natural gas, petroleum, or renewable
I'm sorry
energy.
for the interruption, sir. In addition to generally the cooperation between the North and the South of the Mediterranean in general.
Yes.
Egypt is part of it, but we'd like to have a better general idea too.
Well, regarding the, as I said, regarding the economic integration, it's a very big title under which Egypt has specific projects and specific proposals. The first one, of course, is the cooperation in the extraction and transportation of natural gas. Because, as you rightly said, the Russian-Ukraine war has shown the world that they have to diversify, especially Europe, they have to diversify their supplies of natural gas as well as petroleum, because depending on one side, depending on one supplier, led to the wave of inflation, the high inflation that
and the supply chain problem. Yes, and yes, what they are going to do when yes, winter comes and when the temperature is below zero. A lot of problems they are still suffering from.
Yes, actually, and if we remember in 2022, the inflation in the European Union, in the European zone, actually, it reached 10.6% in August 2022, which was a very high rate if we know that the inflation target of the European Central Bank is 2%. In the US, it was 9.1% in August 2022. And that's because the global economy is like connected tubes. So if you have a problem in one place, the problem will be connected with spillovers in other places. And that's why, as I told you, the European Union...
Connected tubes, sir, or the domino effect?
Both, but the connected tubes is more relevant here, because the instantaneous effect in the new global era, in the new globalization era, leads to the fact that if you have a problem in one place in the world, even if it's not transferred physically to the other place or to other places, but the investors and the consumers in the other places will start acting as if the problem has already reached them, because they're expecting the element of expectation would lead it to become instantaneous. That's why I'm comparing it to connected tubes. But on the other hand, I would like to confirm here that the cooperation in the field of natural gas has become an economic as well as a national security necessity for the European Union, and not only in the field of natural gas but also renewable energy. Germany has ambitious plans to reach to 100% use of renewable energy by 2030. Of course, these are highly ambitious plans, but it's expected in the coming 2 decades, for example, that there will be a major power shift in the world from the countries that are leading in the production and transportation of the fossil fuel, like petroleum and coal, to the countries that are leading in the field of renewable energy and clean energy, like the green hydrogen. And here Egypt has been taking actually proactive measures early since President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi was elected in 2014 in the new Suez Canal economic zone, promoting investments in the production of green energy.
He said it more than once, green hydrogen is the future. Well, sir, unfortunately we're running out of time, but I really enjoyed our discussion. We are going to leave you with a promise to see you again in more episodes of our program.
Thank you so much, madam.
We were very much delighted and honored to have with us live here in the studio our prominent guest, Dr. Ayman Ghoneim, our economic and legal expert. Right after the short break, we are going to return back with more, so stay tuned.